And all of a sudden there was a new funk, the new space age funk, brought to you by Undergravity.
Space age
Adam Vaughn and the mastermind after Cash. Two of the few endangered funk doctors left. And you are not tuned in to the funkiest show on earth, nigga. That space age funk.
Space age funk.
Uncut space age funk. Coming to you live from the mothership, nigga. 5 million kilowatts of space age funk for your motherfucking Trump. Yo, now you can funk with this, or you can funk with that. If funk was a green piece of paper, we'll have it by the stacks. If funk was a fifth, I'd be laying on my...
How did y'all come together with the music, man? I've heard the music and it's phenomenal, but that's for, you know, on down the line with the conversation. But how did y'all hook up as producers?
Beat battle, and he was one of the judges.
What?
And that's when I was producing with Nate Coop at the time. Shout out to Nate. And
A beat battle where?
In Atlanta, it was the championship against like 100 other producers.
100?
Yeah, it was
a lot.
It was
a
a
long,
It was
3
long
days.
3 days.
Hold on, wait. So you saying out of 100, what happened out of 100?
Yeah, me and Nate got
They
first. We
Shut
won.
up.
Yeah.
Hell nah.
Now,
Yeah,
and that's
it was
really
tough.
how it happened. Like, I had to judge the first round, and I remember sitting there and I heard them. But prior to that, I was in my homeboy was judging the sample flip Saturdays, and I walked in, and like they give a whole classroom a beat, a sample, and everybody got to flip it. And I remember she played that shit, and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
she beat all y'all ass.
Come on now.
Forgot
So,
about that.
So I remember her from the sample flip. So when I seen her and Nate partner up, I remember them playing their shit, and I don't even know. I was just like, wow. So before it was all said and done, I went up to him and I told him, like, yo, I got to cut out. I had a session, so I was going to miss the last round.
Session.
I was like, yo, y'all going to win this shit.
You just ready
And
to
I
go.
left, and I was like, hit me and let me know what happens.
Right,
And
business.
they won the shit. And I told them from that day that I would do everything in my power to help them. And
Yeah.
I stuck to that.
Come on now. So I see y'all got some fly gear on. What's that about? Tell me what's going on with that. It looks epic.
God level.
You know, I've had the opportunity to hear it. It sounds epic.
There's
So
levels
give us
to
the
this.
scoop. Give us the scoop. We want the inside scoop now.
Man, so I guess like in Atlanta, they were still here. So working on stuff. I was working on stuff. I'm like, yo, send me stuff. Send me stuff. We would just jam out back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then the Saha album came into play. And I'm like, yo, okay, these are things that need ideas. I sent them a slew of stuff. They send me stuff back. I play it. I get the approval. Then it'd be like, okay, change this. I call them like, yo, we got to change this, that, and the third. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's stuff that I just wanted to include them in because I believed in their art. And ended up making it on the Saha album. And I'll let you talk about that experience, like what that was like.
It was stressful. That's what it was, because it was
Stressful?
it was that's when we had to grow up real fast as producers, because you know, usually as a local producer or a beat maker, you make the beat, you give it to the artist, they either cut it or they don't. That's really it. But when you producing somebody, especially somebody that's on a label, like dealing with somebody like Saha, who's been under Kanye for a while. So just think how Kanye worked. He's, like I said, he's a mad scientist, piecing everything together. Saha was doing the same thing. So everything that we was seeing, Mark would be like, he like it. Then the next day it's like, nah, he don't like it no more. So go back and change this. And mind you, we was working on like maybe
4 or 5 records all at the same time.
Yeah, this was going on for like a year straight.
Yeah.
Back and forth. So, and it just kept dwindling down. And I don't know, at the very last minute, very last minute, like a week before the album dropped, that's when we found out like our record stuck.
And even how that happened is that the record that we had all did together became the favorite record of the crew as far as like the actual crew that was hands on No Dope. It became one of the top records. And I want to say maybe a week before the album drops, I get a call and it's like 4:55. And they like, look, we didn't get the sample clearance. If it's not in by close of business, we can't use the record. So call Saha and let them know we're not going to get the record. Close of business is at 5. I'm like, all right. I click. I get off the phone.
What time is this that you finding this information?
It's 4:55 p.m. We got 5 minutes, bro. I'm like, fuck it, we chalk it up. I click off the joint. I call him, and I'm like, yo, I just got off the phone with the label. We can't use, don't know why. They want to know if we want to get a song that we already have cleared as a replacement, or do we just scrap? Like, before I can get the shit out, he's, what the fuck you mean we can't? He's going crazy. And I'm just like, because we felt like that one record was actually the glue of the album. And as he's yelling, I'm like, hold on. Click over, and it was Sony, and it's like, we just got the paperwork in. It's probably like 4:58. I'm like, ha! We got the record, you motherfuckers.
The only record we was left on, because everything else is just no.
Hey,
Nah,
man.
you got this like more. And see, that's
Hey.
another thing too. When I say we have to grow up fast, because it is politics as usual, like Jay-Z say. So when you got people like the people that you are a fan of, like the Honorable C Notes, the Cardos, all them, you in competition with them, Timbaland, Drake, everybody.
Man.
So when they come into play, and I don't have a big name yet.
Nigga, please.
So I'm just saying, like, to them, they don't know who me and Nate are. So they be quick to bump us off to get somebody with a name because it looks better, in the credit.
I mean,
but
shit.
Mark fought for us. So it was like going through, like we was trying to be online or something. It made us close. Like,
I mean, even still, like with that, like even as a test to that, as close as I was to the album, there was records that I got bumped off of. Like as far as like me actually producing the bulk of the record, it was like, nah, we gonna roll with this. What? All right, but it's like you can't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. But like she said, it makes you grow up. It's like, man, cool. For every record I got bumped off of, I still produced that record. So wasn't mad, man. You look at the credits on that album, I'm listening on every song. I have nothing to complain about. But you know what I'm saying? Like going back to that, it was the fight. Like, man, nah, they gonna make this record. I don't care if we use the smallest part of what they did. We gonna make this record. And it was crazy because they sent, and this is just how records work. They sent the whole, like the song, if you listen to the song, there's 3 verses and the beat changes each verse. First verse is a pure sample. Second verse is a replay of the sample. And the third verse is a Ode to Texas. It's a screwed version of that. They sent the screwed version with drums and everything on it. We did the record, and then we were sitting in the studio. Niggas is like, yo, we should take the drums out. Took everything out except the screw part. And we was like, nigga, that just made the song so amazing.
yeah, because Saha was adamant about it.
Man.
You're from Houston.
Put the screw shit. And what was crazy is, and just because of that, like how well that worked, like every record from that point that we had to finish, he was like, yo, send us to charity them and see if they could do the screw shit, Byrd. So we was just like, we was just adding, it would be like, man, it's so many versions of every record that so many people have additions to that just didn't make the album. It's crazy.
Mark, Chad, we driving this car. Y'all driving this big motherfucking car. And we trying to find out what God level is. Y'all took us around. When we gonna turn around the corner?
You said to how we...
Oh, we did.
So,
I'm
yeah.
sipping. Wait a minute.
So-
Don't give him no more crown.
All right,
Hold on.
I'm gonna help you out.
Help me out.
So,
drive this motherfucker.
After
boy.
No Dope on Sundays happened, this is around the time where they moved to Atlanta. So once they moved to Atlanta, it quickly became, okay, I don't have to send y'all stuff. I can pull up. And I not only can I pull up, y'all can pull up with me when I go over here to see X, Y, and Z. So then we started working on another project with Saha. And then we would sit in the crib and it would be me, her, and Nate, and we would go crazy. We talking like 5-6 records in a matter of an hour, hour and a half.
And we would send stuff to Ratchet Gods.
Yeah, so
they played like our own. They sound design. So
Yeah.
all that movie Hans Zimmer sound,
man,
Dark Knight.
shit was
that's
just starting
them.
to shit was just starting to just become scary at one point, and then it just started become we started noticing a pattern as well as an actual sound that started to develop between us all, and you know through other circumstances, Nate chose to leave and go his route. You know what I'm saying? Much respect and well wishes on his journey. But then it basically left us two as the core of what was going on. So then it was just like we still wanted to drive with the sound that we had. And it was just like the more and more we worked at it, the better and better and better the sound became. And we just decided, it was like, what could describe the sound?
Yeah, it was, what does it feel like?
What does it feel like? And it was just like, man, this is like the like this is God level. This is epic. It's really big. So that became the thing.
That's God level.
So the name is really just to describe the music.
Wait a
Long.
minute.
There you go.
Now, you know, when you look,
That was long.
you know, when you look at it, you know, I think about a lot of shit, you know, and I think it's so many underlying meanings to God level.
Oh, it's a lot to it.
Now,
We
you
just
know,
had to try to
I mean,
simplify it.
It's like what you in the nation of gods and earth?
No.
Baptist.
Baptist.
I'm just a nigga that love chicken.
Okay,
I
because
don't
that's
even know
you
what
know.
that really is. It didn't sound like something I was a part of, but okay.
Okay,
I didn't get my membership papers.
okay. Because you know, God level is something you know that a lot of people you know should aspire to be, man. You know, that's dope, man. I really like the name for real, cause I mean it can get deep. You know, when I came up, you know, when me and Matt came up with our name, it wasn't deep at all until later. And you know what I mean? I think a nigga mind had to grow and mature enough to understand a bunch of other shit, and then I came, you know, that shit came together. But I like God level, man.
Undergravity is hard.
Yeah, it is.
That's hard.
That's cold.
That has always been hard.
We didn't know what it meant at first, but now we understand what that means.
That's cool. Yeah, and I think with us subconsciously dubbing it God level, it also we have an invisible standard for ourselves. It's like it always has to reach a certain peak, and if it don't, we can't call it God level, so we can't do it. So we already,
That's gonna be Paul level.
yeah, we
Moses
just
level.
yeah this one right here. This Malachi.
Yeah. Ezekiel level.
Yeah, this is Job right here. This beat went through something. This is Job level. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just like
Many levels to
it's a
though.
check.
So the beats is on God level. I got to say
They have
that,
to
man.
be, and if it's not, y'all won't hear it.
I was just at a, you know,
The Moses level
we
beats
just
stay on the
listening to
hard
some
drive.
serious shit last night, man.
Mm,
Tell us about y'all first project under the name God level. Tell us a little bit about that.
well, you brought up Dante earlier, and I think Dante told me you the reason why he rapping. So thank
Something
you.
like that. Us
Well, yeah.
collectively.
Well, yeah, I thank y'all, but I don't know. It's just I feel like it's time for all of us to take it to another level, and I'm ready for the world to see Dante. So, like, why not let us produce him? Like, really produce him, like from scratch,
Yeah.
because the raps are there, but I think everything else have to fall in place and be on another level. Like we have, it's still sharp and still. So we kind of I don't know. I can't even describe it. The music, y'all heard the music. It just
Yeah, we heard
it
it. It
explains
was
itself. But the project is
ridiculous.
gonna be crazy. Like that's everybody say about the project that's coming out. But
So is God level a record label? Is it a production team? Is it a gang? Is it a what like
Whole
is
lot of
it,
gang
what,
shit going on over here.
right now
what I
it's
mean
a
like what is
Right,
it?
production, but
right now it's
we gonna build up
yeah.
to
We
that.
just
We
gonna
a
build it to a
brand.
complete entity. It's just a brand,
Yeah.
and honestly, it's a mind state. It's just the way we do stuff.
And
You know what I'm
Dante have
saying?
to take that to
Yeah, like we're working with Hig. It this project like real spill, and I say it all the time. Is like it's her vision. Like she had been stressing, like yo, take Dante up, and it just took a matter of time for everything to line up the way that it was supposed to. And when I first met him, and we had to talk crazy right here in the same studio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I saw a lot in him, but I also saw a lot of comfort. I'm like, he got to get out of that. That's the only way I'm willing to go crazy is he has to get out of that. And he made his dedication, and he came out to Atlanta, and it just turned into a thing. And I want to say, we recorded a wave of records the first time, and we were like, okay, this is great. Then he came back another time, and that wave of records was actually better than the first record. It was like, that can't happen again. And we just kept building. And even aside from building just the music, like the vision, like she said, everything has to go up.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like the things that she was exposed to that he wasn't, the things that I was exposed to that he wasn't, we can bring as a collective. And also with his input as far as everything that he was exposed to that was a lot different from us, you put all of that in, into a setting with people that understand. It's like nobody's fighting each other. We're all understanding and taking in everybody's vision and creating it. So then it became not only let's make sure the music goes, let's make sure the visuals go. Let's make sure the promotion and the PR goes. Let's really go hands on in everything that it takes to create a project. This is what producing is.
Yeah.
This is Quincy and Michael. You know what I'm saying? To say the least. That's really what it is. A lot of the time is conversations. We'll be sitting there, like we talk on a group chat every single day,
Yeah.
just trying to figure out, like, okay, what should we do? What are we missing? What do we got? What do we want? What do we want from the people? What do we want to? This is constant. This is every single day we trying to figure it out.
Okay. Okay. It's God level. I like that.